What's up, guys? Shay Stevens here, PDGA number 77522, and it's time to fasten your seatbelts because today we're taking a look at the Streamline Turbulence. Let's get to it. I'm sure a lot of fans of most manufacturers have some fun trying to guess what is the next disc my manufacturer is going to make. They look at maybe some holes in the offerings. Maybe they see a prominent player on their team struggling with a certain shot and use that to guess what the next release will be. Well, for fans of MVP, I don't think any of us saw this coming. The Streamline Turbulence debuting in Neutron plastic. Flight numbers on the Turbulence are a speed of 7, glide of 2, turn of 0, and a fade of 3.5. So overstable fairway driver, but the prominent feature on this disc is the intentional puddle dop, or the anti-dome or the anti-glide dome. Basically, it looks like you took a range and you ran over it with a steamroller and you got this thing. Honestly, first impressions feels very comfortable. Really fits well with how I grip the disc. My thumb fits perfectly into the track there, and it's just very filling, and I like the size of the rim too. I like 7-speed drivers. But let's take a look at some side-by-sides. All right, guys, starting off the side-by-sides, we have both the Turbulences MVP sent me here. Both are 172 grams, so I expect these discs to be identical since MVP prides itself on consistency, and they delivered. Parting lines line up nicely, the finishes are the same, so good, consistent product so far. All right, guys, I'm going to be honest, I was struggling to figure out what I should side-by-side with the Turbulence to be beneficial to you guys. Starting off, I chose an Eclipse resistor. This is the Deadbands hand run from DFX. This is the Eclipse resistor that Eagle McMahon likes to throw. So starting off, parting lines, pretty comparable, which is to be expected. The resistor is a 6-speed disc, though. Turbulence is a 7. Finishes on the disc, pretty close. If anything, resistor might be a little more overstable, but I'm expecting the Turbulence to be a little bit faster, but that glide is definitely going to be an interesting feature to check. All right, guys, next up, I thought it'd be fun to throw the newest disc from MVP up against something old school. This is a pre-flight numbered Neutron Fireball. It's the actual Dragon Fireball stamp. The Dragon shooting the fireball into the basket. Old school MVP fans will be familiar with that. This run of Fireball was known for being like a good straight to overstable fairway. Not as crazy overstable as the more recent runs of Fireballs we've been experiencing. And you can see here the nose on the Fireball, pretty much level with the Turbulence, if anything a little lower. And then the finish on the Fireball, a lot more gentle compared to the Turbulence. So I am expecting the Turbulence to be more overstable than this old school run. All right, guys, finishing up the side-by-sides. I love throwing PFN Neutron Fireballs, and I also love throwing the new Fission Fireball. So special edition Fission Fireball here on the right. Parting lines, pretty similar, so I'm expecting the Turbulence to be similar to the Fireball in that it has very little high-speed turn, if any. And the finish of the disc, the bottom side on the Fission Fireball looks pretty comparable to the Neutron, actually, which explains probably why I like it so much. Now, the Fission Fireball does have a little bit of dome to it, so it does have some nice carry to it. Pushes pretty straight before hyzering out. It has a nice forward-pushing hyzer, versus the Turbulence doesn't have any dome. If it actually has negative dome, so I am going to be curious to see how the Turbulence finishes. But let's get out to the field and see how it flies. All right, guys, a few things to note before heading out to the field. First, no injuries to report. I know, right? For the first time, and I can't remember, I'm not feeling hurt. It's feeling good. I love it. So I'm in good condition, which is awesome. And, that's good because the Turbulence is a disc you really want to lay into, and I did not have to hold back at all. So good news on that front. Now, for weather, it was like 90 degrees out there, really muggy. I was worried about grip issues, but honestly, guys, whatever MVP is doing with the Neutron blend recently, please keep doing it. It's got just the right amount of give for me. It's not Neutron soft, but it's just that right amount of pliability. And honestly, the profile of this disc is like a glove for my hand. Like my thumb and the palm of my hand just rest perfectly inside that track. This is the most snug power grip I have ever felt. So grip was no issue out there. There is a bit of a tailwind, about 12 miles an hour coming over my right shoulder. So just keep that in mind. When the disc is on, is turning left, it's going to be thrown a little bit. And when it's finishing off to the right, likewise, it's going to get checked down a little bit. So just take note. But starting off on backhand hyzer, it's exactly what I would expect from an overstable fairway. Just put it up on that angle. It's not going to deviate at all. No flip. If anything, it turned into the hyzer a little bit as it was fading. Just give you some nice, like, good, accurate spike hyzers, so you can really dart a target if you need to. I did try throwing some low power hyzers with it to see if I get any flip out of it, but nope. That 0 turn number, very accurate. This thing did not turn at all, and it, just got the hyzer, got down to the ground. The finish on the disc is very interesting, though. Something to note, for for overmolded discs, so MVP and Axiom, the overmold really helps maintain the spin rate of the disc even as it's slowing down. So MVP discs tend to have a more forward pushing hyzer, whereas solo molds tend to have more of a bite to the end of them. I was expecting the bite out of the Turbulence, and it does have a decent one, but not as bad as I thought. I don't know if that's because of the anti-glide. It just got to the ground so quickly, it didn't have a chance to bite harder. But that was just one thing I was observing. I did get a few like baby skips out of it. Don't know if those were wind dated or what, but it does have a bit of a muted finish, I'll say. So it's not as severe a fade out as I was expecting, but definitely has a 3.5 bite at the end, I think. Now, on flat shots, again, with my form changes, like I just realized my flat shots really have a bit of hyzer, just a baby hyzer. It's kind of like my natural form I'm falling into. So tried to throw as flat as possible, and again, it was exactly what I expected. Just held the angle, pushed forward, and when it started to hyzer, it pretty much got down to the ground. I was pushing those flat shots maybe 265, 275, and then backhand and hyzers, guys, that was one of the shining points of this disc. A lot of problems people have when throwing anhyzer is they early release the disc or they lose their grip on it, and we all know that horrible shot where it just goes out of your hand, nose up, early release, stalls out high, goes the hyzer, and there's crashes out off your line, usually in a bad spot. That was not an issue with the Turbulence at all. Like I said, like this grip was so comfortable. I threw, hold on, look here, 2 discs, 7 times, so I threw 14 anhyzers in this session. I didn't have one early release. They were all pretty much online, what I wanted, and I was just throwing awesome flex shots. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that I could reliably just hit this disc over and over again on Annie and get all the shapes I wanted out of it. Same deal on forehand. Again, disc is like made for my hand. I throw that 3 finger, kind of like the leading finger on the edge there, grip for my forehands, and my thumb just fits perfectly into the thumb track. It's very snug, comfortable, and I was just hitting this thing with a little bit of Annie and just popping it out there and getting all the lines I wanted. And I didn't have any early releases. I didn't feel like I really hacked over on it at all, and just chopped it into the ground. It was very impressive. It's very comfortable. I had a lot of fun with it. Max throw I think out there I got was 285. I was using Google Maps to map it, so give or take, but that was a flex line. So definitely not a far flyer. The 2 glide, very accurate. Now, will I bag this disc? Honestly, guys, I love it, and I'm having trouble figuring out why. Definitely practice bag material. If not, it might make the backup bag even. Where I think this disc will shine is this is a finesse hack for players who throw fairway drivers. So like the range is kind of like the upshot, like an upshot cheat disc. If you don't have good touch on upshots, you throw a range or another low glide putter. The Turbulence is for the player who favors fairway drivers. What I see in a lot of players' bags is you'll either be very mid-range heavy or fairway driver heavy. You might be balanced. Maybe you have 5-5 or whatever your combo is, but typically I know a lot of players who have 3 mid-ranges and they'll have 7 fairways, or vice versa. They'll have 6, 7 mid-ranges and then only 2 or 3 fairway drivers. It's just what's your style. I'm personally more of a mid-range thrower. Just coming from Ultimate, I like more of a deep dish kind of feel, and I feel like I can really have a lot of touch throwing my fan grip mid-range shots. But I know there are players who like to throw fairways, and they may struggle, despite their preference, with that, throwing 50% powered fairway drivers to try and get the result that a mid-range would, but they just don't like the feel of a mid-range. So if you need a shot shape that's something like a pyro or a runway or a deflector even, but you don't like throwing that style of disc, you're trying to throw something like maybe a servo or a resistor, and you're trying to finesse that shot, and maybe you're struggling with that, your answer is going to be the Turbulence. So you can really lay into the disc and give it all the power you want, but it's only going to give you that distance of a mid-range. So I think if that's your style of play, the Turbulence is going to be for you. But I had an absolute blast throwing it. I can't wait to throw it more. I'm gonna, get out hopefully after this rain passes through, see some people out there on the course, let them give it a try, get their thoughts on it. But it's a really fun disc. It's random. Like no one saw this coming. No one knows why we need it, but I think a lot of people are gonna have so much fun throwing it. So thank you to MVP for sending these out to me. I had a blast. Definitely check out your local retailers when these drop. As always, I will plug Foundation. They're my sponsors. They're awesome. They're very supportive of me. And if you guys want to support me and thank them for all their support, please use my affiliate link. I have it linked down below. I'll toss it up on the screen somewhere too. I would really appreciate it. If Foundation's sold out though, definitely check out all the great, wonderful MVP retailers. We have an awesome community. So yeah, again, guys, thank you for all your support. If you have any questions for me, reach out. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care.
Thank you to my sponsors. For all your disc golf needs, check out Phoenix Discs and Foundation Disc Golf.